Yo, what's going on, man? Inkz to go, aka Mr. B. And listen, welcome to the first episode of Who's That Podcast, man. I dedicated this podcast to independent artists. I want to give you guys a different perspective. I want to give you guys a straight look in the industry, man, coming straight from people in the industry, out there, mouth there, south, man. So welcome to Who's That Podcast, first episode. Listen, I usually have a guest, but today I just want to dedicate this to the artists and getting information to you guys. So I'm going to go through a couple of different questions I commonly get asked all the time. And then I'm also going to speak on different perspectives, that I get, out the industry. So let's get it, man. My executive producer, what we got going on today, man?
All right, question one, why podcast?
Why podcast, right? So I wanted to reach a huge audience of people, right? I feel like a podcast is the only way I can reach a large amount of people in a short amount of time. People nowadays, they don't want to listen to hours and hours of information. They want to get straight to the point. And that's what this podcast was, just give you information. But I also want to highlight people behind the music scene on the business side. Like, there's so many people in the music industry that support, get your favorite artist through the door, and they don't get no type of recognition, they don't get no type of credit. So my goal is to highlight them, spotlight them, and put the light on them to give them their flowers that they need and that they deserve. Right, but at the same time, educate you guys from them and from their perspective. So that's the whole goal of making the podcast and putting it together.
Question two, where did the name come from?
So the name came from who's that came from basically like when people see people behind the scenes, they don't know who that is. Typically, if your favorite executive, your favorite person that's behind an artist walked in the door, you wouldn't know probably their first name or last name. You may be if they're famous, but 9 times 10 they probably not famous, so you probably wouldn't know them. So most people are like, who's that? I've been in a room a lot of times where label owners, the owner of Def Jam, Capital, these people that own $billion business, you don't even know who they are because 9 times 10 you're not in touch with the business side. They'll walk right past you, wouldn't even know them. So I came up with a name like I'm gonna name it Who's That because I'm gonna identify those people, spotlight those people. So next time you bump into a president, a manager, a VP of a label that you're really trying to be a part of, you'll know what it is. You'll approach them and definitely make your dreams come true, man.
Your favorite music executive?
My favorite music is executive. Let me think, man. My favorite one, I got a lot of them, man. I think my favorite one though. Let me think. That's a hard question. Favorite one. I'm thinking. I'm gonna name a few of them because it's hard to just get it down to one, right? So Dame Dash is one of my favorite music. The way he put Rockefeller together, the way he was moving back in the early 2000s, man, I think that was something that probably never ever happened again. So Dame Dash one, two, Master P, man, the things he did and cultivated his sound, his music. Because when Master P first started, a lot of people was not checking for him. You know what I'm saying? When I look at the history, the videos, a lot of people just was not checking for Master P. You know what I'm saying? So I think him overcoming that, coming from the South and really doing that at the time he did was so impressive. My third one is Birdman. Birdman, man, what he did with Cash Money back in time he did it. To me, that shit is incredible. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I can't even put it into words, man. What he cultivated, making over $1 billion, and really taking something from nothing, and then helping people along the way. Despite the criticism he gets, I don't know the behind the scenes work, but from my standpoint, man, the things he did on the executive side, him and Slim, is crazy. And my other one, my last one, I got more than this, but my favorite four, and the last one is Diddy. His whole bad boy movement, what he did coming out of Howard, cultivating the party scene, putting together with the music, putting people together like Mary J. Blige, like what he did was special, man. So if I had to name four of them, it would be uh, Diddy, Birdman, Master P, and who's the other one I said? Dame Dash. Yeah, Dame Dash for sure.
All right, question number four, your favorite hustler in music?
My favorite hustler in music. I got a few of them. But number one, my favorite hustler is Troy Ave. Me working personally with Ave, I see the determination, the grit. He probably work harder than anybody I know. Trying to keep up with him is very hard. When I'm on the road with him, he's up 24/7. He may sleep an hour or two, get right back up. He got 3 or 4 different business he's trying to run at one time. And he's typically a one man show. He pretty much does everything himself. So from a hustler standpoint, man, I think Definitely Av, number one. Two, Jim Jones. Jim Jones to me is somebody who's his rap has got way better, but when he first started out, he wasn't the best rapper. I think he was the best hustler though, because he could do video, he could do security, he could do everything put in one. So to me, he was an all around hustler. And he made that shit work. Who's my other favorite hustler? Troy, Jim. I got to get somebody from the South. Ross. Ross would be my person from the South. I said Ross owned so many things, man. Wing stops, in the real estate. He got cars, he got horses. He's so into so many things. And from out the gate, he told you he was a boss. You know what I'm saying? So Ross would definitely be my favorite hustle. So we got Troy, we got Jim, and Ross for sure.
Females come up in music.
Man, I think the females have made a crazy impact in music, and I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I think what they're doing is special. I think this is the time for them. Not even just in music, on the business side as well. Females have really dominated a lot. If you look at a lot of the executives on the back end, it's mostly black females or females. You know what I'm saying? So I think females are killing it right now. My advice to females would be you really don't have to be the best rapper to me as a female. As long as you're a social influencer, you got a team that could put together some tracks for you. You know, you got a few dollars to put towards budget because to me, a woman budget will be way higher than a man budget. So you got a few dollars, you're a social influencer, people like your personality, you really can make that shit work. You know what I mean? So if you're a female, I think you should put together a team, use your social influence. If you look good, definitely use your looks because that attracts listeners, especially men, and really get your ducats up, man. You get all together, man, you'll have a hell of a career, at least to get you into a point where you can transition to something else and get you a little money in the meantime.
Two musical things artists need.
Two things musical things artists need. I want to say, man, if you're an artist, before you even get into the artistry, really understand is this what you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? So many people jump into music because somebody else doing it. He did it, so I know I could do it. That ain't the case. You know what I'm saying? So before you really get into music, you need to understand is this what I really want to do? Because I'm really ready to sacrifice everything I love to make this dream come true. One. Two, this industry costs. It's a lot of money that's put towards artists. You see a lot of these artists blow, and you just like, man, they came from nowhere. These artists ain't come from nowhere. There's somebody behind them investing money into them. Whether it's them investing money into themselves or a team or a label, somebody is investing money into people that you see every day. You can't see somebody for free all day, every day, and nobody's putting a budget with them. So before you jump into this game, man, understand that it's gonna cost. You know, and I tell people this all the time. If you want to get somewhere fast, you gotta pay money. If you don't have a lot of money, it's not gonna be fast. If you want great work, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. If you don't want great work, it's not gonna cost you a lot of money. So I tell people that all the time. Whatever you want, you can get it, but it's gonna cost you unless you're ready. If you want to take the steps, it probably don't cost you as much. It's taking your time, but most people nowadays don't have patience. That's not even an option for them. They don't want to wait 10 years. People can't do stuff for 10 days, more like 10 years. So if you're an artist, two things you need to be focused on: your budget, how much money you can put towards it, and then is this what you really want to do? Because it's gonna take a lot of sacrifice for you to get to where you want to be.
Question number six: business things artists need.
Business things first. I think your brand and your image and your the way you putting things together is super important. So you will need the trademark, copyright, LLC, business license, whatever you got going on. So whatever your intellectual property is, you need to make sure that that's protected at all times. So one of the first things you want to do, I don't know who that was, but yeah, like I was saying, man. Damn, bro, what was that? I forgot the question. We had some idiots talking outside the door. Oh, business things are new. So yeah, again, like I said, you make sure you want to protect your intellectual property. You know, your actual trademarks, copyrights, LLC, business license, whatever you pushing, whatever your brand is, make sure you protecting it because a lot of times I see A major artist might be pushing something, and then I see a smaller artist say, "Hey, they took my brand, they took my logo, they took my saying, they took my slang. They're taking all these things because they're not protected. If somebody takes something that you rightfully own, you can send out a cease and desist. Take that down. You know, if they go even farther, you can take them to court. You know what I'm saying? So that tells me a lot of people business is not right. So before you get to pushing a brand, pushing logos, doing all these things, make sure you're protected in a way nobody can steal it from you. And then also on the business side, you need to make sure that you have contracts with people. Like if you're working with a team, you're working with a manager, you're working with a lawyer, whoever you work with, make sure you got some paperwork on the table so you're not getting burnt. There's a lot of artists who say, "Hey, I paid somebody such and such, and they never did their job." Well, did you put them in any type of paperwork? Did they sign? Did you sign any paperwork, or did you make a decision based off how you felt at the moment? In this industry, a lot of times people are leading with their emotions, and it's getting them in a hole they can't get out of. Right? Somebody tell you something, you just run with it because you're moving with your emotion. So in this industry, you might want to use a logic rather than emotion because it's gonna get you farther. You going off your emotion will get you hurt a lot of times in the industry, especially if you're not educated in these things. So I would say two things you need as an artist from a business side: make sure all your intellectual property protected, and make sure you got some contracts on deck.
Next question. Hottest upcoming city.
To me, man, the hottest upcoming city, man, I would say Midwest. Detroit right now is going crazy. Detroit going crazy. Alabama got a lot of hitters out there. Florida, of course. I mean, your major cities all the time that we know in music is Atlanta, New York, Florida. Florida's a state, but I would say Miami, uh, of course LA. But like the up and coming cities that I'm checking out right now is definitely Detroit. Um, Really that little whole Midwest area, Detroit, Kentucky, which is a state as well, but different cities in there. It's just like because they all sound the same. You know what I'm saying? So I could put them all kind of in one. So I would say right now, to me the smallest, the hottest up and coming small city, I would say is Detroit. Let me think of something else though. Who else is a up and coming city? Let me think. I ain't gonna lie, DC got a few people coming out there. Not a lot, but DC got some people. Of course, LA, but they not really small. Who got a small? I'm trying to think, man, because I don't want to miss you guys.
Always people coming out of like North Carolina.
North Carolina, yeah, Charlotte. I forgot. Charlotte got a lot of people that's coming out of Charlotte for sure. Um, so definitely Charlotte, definitely Detroit, um Texas, yeah, Houston, yeah, Houston for sure. Houston, Austin. So it's a lot of small cities, man. That's coming out right now.
Can you make it small from a? Can you make it big from a small city?
Definitely, man. We see it every day. I'm from a small city. I'm originally from Richmond. But in smaller cities, they haven't seen a lot of success. So if you ain't seen a lot of success, it's gonna be kind of hard for you to really, I guess, take it, seriously. Um, because you haven't seen it before, so it's new to you. You know what I'm saying? Like when you coming from a major city, you see so much examples of success and people making it. But to me, I think you definitely come from a small city. My advice to artists that's coming from a small city, though, you want to make sure that you're not stuck in a small city mentality, meaning that you're not hating on other people, you're not trying to bring other people down because you feel like you can't make it. You got to put yourself in the right circle, the right group of people. You're gonna need a lot of support coming from a small city. And believe it or not, people from small cities do support, but you got to give them something to support. The quality got to be there. The consistency got to be there. You know what I mean? Just really believe in yourself, invest in yourself. People got to see that in smaller cities, and they'll get behind you for sure. But it's all really gonna start, with your team, and how you moving. Strangers will support you, I believe, before your personal family. But at the same time, man, I just personally believe if the person right next to you don't believe in what you got going on, it's gonna be hard for you to portray that to somebody else. That's just personally me. Like if your mother don't believe in you, your brother, sister. I understand people in your family, they might be used to a certain thing, but somebody in your family should be believing in you and helping you out in some form of way if you're really that talented. And maybe, your family just a bunch of haters. So you might just got to move out your city. That is an option as well. You don't have to stay in your city. You can't leave it. You know what I'm saying? But some people don't have the finances or the situation. They got kids, whatever. So you got to stay where you at. And I think you should just make the best of it. But all in all, you definitely could make it from a small city.
What about work ethic?
Your work ethic got to be undeniable. I think that's what's gonna separate you from the pack in the group is your work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like your work ethic just gotta be, man. It gotta be some shit people are not messing with. You know what I'm saying? Like again, I mentioned Troy earlier. He don't sleep. He might sleep an hour or two and he right back at it. And if you look at a lot of the major artists, in the industry, they're the same way. These guys don't sleep. Now I don't think that's healthy. Personally, I do get some sleep. You know what I mean? But a lot of these people who are chasing their dreams and want to be up and coming artists, it's a lot of things you got to sacrifice in the beginning because they could actually sleep if they wanted to. But that just shows the determination, the hustle in them for them not sleeping, trying to get accomplished what they want. So I think if you an artist, man, you got to outwork everybody. And if you're an up and coming artist, you definitely got to outwork everybody because you got to think about it. If you are up and coming artists and these are major artists and these major artists are working harder than you, that would tell you something because they already got millions and millions of dollars and they still working 10 times harder and you not working. So that tells me that you're not going to really go very far. So your work ethic is going to speak for itself, man, if you're going hard. And that makes more people believe in you as the harder you go. So, yeah, work ethic is super, super important. I would put it together as my top 3. I think as an artist, you got to have a strong work ethic, you got to have a strong team, and you got to have a budget. You know what I mean? Your music today ain't got to really be that good, to be honest with you. It got to be cool, but it's more social influences that's making it versus actual artists. The lyrical artists, they're dope, but like people are not flocking to lyrics as much as they used to. So you can make it with an okay lyrics as long as you got everything else that that goes well for you.
What about teamwork?
Teamwork, man. Again, you need a team. Like to me, you can't do it on your own, but it will be super, super hard for you to do this shit on your own. You know what I mean? Like you gonna need a hell of a team to get you back. Even if it's only 1 or 2 people, because I think when people think of team, they think of a big group of people. Nah, this could be 1 or 2 people that you have that really do everything for you. Because as you're an artist, I think you make your best music when you stress free, right? And to me, if you got all this stuff going on, you got kids, you got jobs, you got school, you got all these things going on, it's gonna be hard for you to make a hit. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be easy to make a hit because you could use that to make a hit. But I feel like the things would be better for if you had people you could delegate things to. And don't be afraid to work with people you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think the best work comes from people you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got family, that's cool too. You can work with your family. But don't be afraid to work with strangers when it comes to putting out music because that can help you a lot and get you a lot farther than working with somebody you know. Because the only thing about working with people you know, they don't really take it as serious. Like if you working with somebody that you're familiar with, people cool, whatever, friends, they don't really take you serious like somebody you don't know. You meet a stranger, it's just business. When you work with family and personal stuff, you know, it can get kind of like it's playful, it's not serious. You know what I'm saying? Less money involved. You know what I mean? So you want to work with somebody who's not so focused on the money and more focused on the end goal, which is making sure whoever the artist is in position for sure.
Final question. Talk about goals.
Goals. So one, the goal of this podcast, again, I'm gonna state it again. The goal of this podcast is to educate artists and also put a spotlight on people behind the scenes. You guys need to know who are behind the scenes because most of the time you guys either want a deal, you either want to get signed, you want to know all these things, but you don't know the right people. And I'm telling you right now, the right people will take you longer than having a certain amount of money. Because guess what? Once you get that certain amount of money, you're gonna have to invest it into those people. Once you get a certain amount of money, you're gonna have to invest into these certain resources. So money is important, but having money without the resources will not get you anywhere, right? You're just gonna end up blowing a bunch of money, getting scammed, and not investing and not seeing your career go. But when you know the right people and you have money, you will go farther. So my goal is to highlight those people. So you guys, when you see them on the street, you bump into them, whatever, you can actually approach them on some business. And also educating artists. There's too many things going on in this industry that's getting artists scammed. They're getting frustrated because they don't have the right information, right? So having the right information will take you very, very, very far. You know what I'm saying? So my goal is to educate you guys, entertain you guys, and also introduce you to people that's dope that could take your life and change your life as well. So me and my guy Troy Ave as well, we teaming up. We doing distribution, you know what I mean? So that's our way of giving back and helping independent artists. There's a lot of people that's doing different things, so you got to tap in. But us personally, we actually going to give distribution as well. So if you check out a lot of these major artists, that's independent. They're doing a lot of things for artists as well, man. So you just got to network, go to different cities, travel, talk to people, And as long as you don't give up, you be consistent, man, you definitely will make it, man, for sure. So, yeah, man, that wraps up our first episode of Who's That Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to Who's That Podcast on YouTube. We got a lot of stuff in tune for you, a lot of things in coming. I'm also going to be shooting this live on Instagram so you guys can ask me questions while I'm actually shooting the podcast. Inkz to go. We out of here, man. Who's That Podcast?